This is the kit lens that came with my Canon 600D, and this is the kit lens that came with my Sony a6000. Kit lenses have a reputation in the photography world for being a little bit crap, because most of the time, well, they're a little bit crap. I say most of the time because this is the kit lens that came with my Canon ESR, and this is a different story. Oi, my name's Chris, aka Snackophagus, and can I quickly just say thanks for stopping by, and if at any point during this video you start to enjoy yourself, then don't feel bad about giving that like button a little tickle. And if at any point you find that you're not enjoying yourself with this video, then console yourself with the knowledge that life is really just one big long list of disappointments, one after another, and when you're on your deathbed, this video is going to just be a minor footnote in all the disappointments of your life. Anyway, what's so good about this lens? This is the kit lens that comes with the Canon EOS R, and it used to come with the RP as well. Canon seem to have swapped it out now for the less expensive 24-105 f4 to f7.1 that comes with the R6, but you can still get this lens with the Canon R5 and you can still pick it up as a separate item, or you might also have a bit of luck finding the old deals with one of them boxed in with the EOS R or the RP. But is it worth picking it up? Should you instead just pick up a body and buy a more dedicated lens, something like the 15-35, or should you go for that cheaper lens, the 24-105 f4 to 7.1? It can be a bit of a dilemma, particularly as these lenses don't come cheap. You don't want to make the wrong choice and find you're stuck with a dud, or you don't want to overpay when you find that you could have bought a cheaper lens and that could have worked out fine for you. Anyway, let me put forward my case for why I think you should seriously consider picking up this lens. So the first thing to think about is the fact that this is an L lens. If you're not familiar with what an L lens is, it's simply the way that Canon have defined their more professional lenses, as indicated with the little red ring around the barrel. Now, normally this means that they have a better build quality. They normally have a continuous f-stop throughout the zoom, although that's not always the case. Some of the more telephoto lenses actually have the variable aperture. It means that they are dust and weather sealed. There's little gaskets in there to stop grit, sand, water, that type of thing from getting into your lens, which the other non-L lenses don't have, or at least don't have to the same standard. Now, having said that, this lens does zoom externally. It comes in and out like that, if you can see it, which to me makes me a little bit nervous that it's not as weather sealed as it could be if the zoom was internal. Of course, there's probably some sort of science magic going on there, gaskets, grease and that sort of thing to stop there being any dust or water getting in there, but I would imagine it's a little bit vulnerable. Any lens like that is going to be. Now, Canon have made the decision that all of their new zoom lenses for the mirrorless system are going to be external zooms like that, or at least as of the moment, that's what they're all like. So there's no way of getting around this. So it's just something to think about. Again, I've taken this out in mild weather conditions and haven't had a problem with that. I haven't taken it in any sandstorms or hurricanes or anything like that yet, so I can't vouch for it. But so far, no problems. And of course, you're going to have the same problem with any of the other lenses, or an even bigger problem with the non-L lenses, which have even less weather sealing and still have the external zoom like that. The next thing to say is that this is an incredibly versatile lens. It's got a zoom range of 24-105, so that's going from a kind of moderate wide angle to a moderate telephoto lens. Now, that's a great kind of common range that you might want to have covered. It's wide but not too wide, it's telephoto but it's not too telephoto, and you get the combination of both of them in the one lens. I think that zoom range is something like just over a 4x zoom, which is great to be getting in an L lens. Now, normally a kind of rough rule of thumb is that the bigger the zoom range, the less quality the lens is going to have over that range. This is a nice moderate, or a nice kind of compromise between those 2 points. It's incredibly useful to have a lens like this which you can take out on a photo walk, where maybe you've not planned the actual subject that you want to take a photo of. You're going to be looking for what opportunities come up on that walk, and Here you've got the versatility that most of the possibilities that you might encounter are covered with that lens. This means you don't have to carry around a big bag full of prime lenses, waiting for the perfect opportunity and then having to jump into your bag and switch out lenses, which all takes time, and then the shot will be gone anyway and you'll be annoyed and the rest of your day will be ruined. This lens also has a very fast autofocus. Now it's a USM motor. I'm not sure if it's nano or not. Seems like it might be, although that's not actually labelled on the lens anywhere. But let's assume it is, as that seems to be the new technology that Canon is putting into these lenses. It's pretty silent. You can hear a tiny little zzz if you hold it up to your ear, but not much. I'd say it was 99% silent, if there's such a thing as 99% silent. Surely it's silent or it's not silent, but in this case we're going to say 99% silence. There's also very little focus breathing, so when you're taking a shot, sometimes you might notice on a lesser quality lens that actually just changing the focus changes the zoom slightly. It'll zoom in or out ever so slightly, and there doesn't seem to be much of that with this lens, if any at all. It is an f4 aperture on this lens, constant throughout the zoom range. Now that's a little bit slow compared to some L lenses you're probably used to seeing zoom lenses that are 2.8. It'd be nice if they were all 1.4, wouldn't it, if we could have a zoom lens that was a 24-105 1.4. It's not going to happen anytime soon. This is an f4, which means it doesn't let in as much light, but that's sort of compensated with the fact that there is a 5-stop image stabilization system in this lens. So you can compensate for the low light situations with a longer shutter speed, up to 5 stops longer. You should be able to handhold that. 5 stops, maybe that's a little bit on the long side. I'm not sure if it is 5 stops, but 3 probably definitely. The f-stop isn't just about using the lens in low light. Of course, it's about how much bokeh you can get in an image. This seems to be the thing that most people want these days. Very fashionable to have a lot of a blown out background shots. And of course with an f4 you're going to struggle a little bit more than you would with a 2.8 or an f1.8 or something. Although it's not impossible to get a nice bokeh out of this lens. If you zoom in to the 105 end and you keep it on the f4, then you can have a pleasing out of focus background. Obviously one of the most important things, if not the most important thing with any lens, is image quality. I'd say it's definitely the most important thing. And this lens has a good image quality. It does have a little bit of vignetting when you're on the f4, but that soon disappears if you stop down. And of course you can take care of this in Lightroom very easy with one click. Sharpness on this lens is really good. It's very sharp in the center of the lens, getting a little bit softer to the corners like most lenses, but I'd say it was good. Of course the sharpness increases as you stop down and the corner levels do become sharper than at f4. I'd say it was much sharper than you would expect it to be with a lens that has got this sort of zoom range. There's a little bit of barrel distortion and pincushion distortion at either end of the zoom ranges with this lens, although again that is very easily corrected in Lightroom. In fact, Lightroom comes with the corrections installed in it now, so you can really with just one click get rid of those problems. It'd be nice if they weren't there to begin with. I'm sure it would be better if they weren't there to begin with and that there wasn't a digital correction on that, but nobody's going to notice. It's very effective, and again with just a click of a button you can sort that problem out. So I'd say that the image quality with this lens overall is fantastic. Way better than you would imagine, way better than I was expecting, and of course that's the most important thing with any lens, is the quality of the image that you're going to get out of it. I'm not suggesting this is the best lens ever, it's obviously not, and if you're a pro photographer and you know the type of work that you're going to mostly be shooting, you'd probably want to go and buy a more dedicated lens. If you're a landscape photographer, you want something like the 15-35. If you're a portrait photographer, maybe something like the 70-200 or even like an 85 f1.4 or something. But if you're a keen amateur, a hobbyist, or even if you're a professional who does a variety of different work, then this lens could work for you. When I first bought my Canon EOS R, I was pretty certain that I was going to buy a host of different lenses for it. I was really looking forward to getting hold of the 15-35, but my camera came with the 24-105, and since then I've put it on and I haven't really taken it off. I haven't felt the need to upgrade. Now I mostly do a lot of kind of photo walks, general photography, going around, cityscapes, landscapes, that sort of thing. Here's a few kind of examples of the images that I take. Should I move over so they can fit in? They're probably coming up there somewhere, looking really good and exciting. I do shoot with other lenses on this camera if it's something that I've pre-planned, I know what I'm going to go and do. But for the general photo walks, it saves me so much hassle of carrying around extra lenses, extra equipment, all that type of thing. You can just have this one lens, bosh it on there, and you're good to go all day long. And it's actually opened up a lot of different viewpoints for me and ideas, because I nearly always used to shoot with wide lenses. I loved a kind of 15 to 35 focal length. But with this lens, I had that telephoto option, or the mild telephoto option of the 105mm, and it really opened up my creativity. It was a lot of fun to shoot with, and as I say, I really do like this lens. In fact, I think I'm going to keep this lens in my kit for a long time to come. I will supplement it with some others, but if you're looking for a general purpose all-round lens, then this probably is the king of kit lenses. I feel like we should have a little ceremony or something. We can... coronation where we crown it king of kit lenses. Put the... haven't got a crown for the lens. Got a lens hood, that might work, might be like a little crown. Although I tend not to use lens hoods. Now, of course, you can still take a bad photo with a great lens. I've taken many of them. If you want to fix some of the flaws that might be in your photography, why don't you check out this video here? If not, I'll see you on the other side. I don't mean the afterlife. Hopefully we'll both be alive by next time I publish a video. Or at least hopefully I'll be alive. And you, I haven't got enough subscribers for any of you to die off. Stay healthy. See ya.